Okay, the next thing we are going to look at is a couple of different options for displaying percentages of totals in chart form. And so we go over here to the enrollment statistics page, worksheet, and I'll make that a little bigger for you. And here we have enrollment by ethnicity, and we have enrollment by gender. And so let's see what they have you do here. We're going to make a pie chart about the ethnicity in Mount Hood Community College. And so we want to highlight A2 through B6 and hit insert. And we're going to grab these pie charts and we can do the 2D pie here. And there it is. And we have a legend. My legend is showing up on the bottom. The textbook's legend is showing up on the side. To make this, and then we go to the next point to make the slices stand out better. We can explode the pie chart, which is kind of cool. Let's see, we want to click and hold the mouse button over any of the slices of the pie. And then note that we have section handles now on all of the pie slices. So what you do is you click in here inside of the pie and don't pick up your clicky. Don't pick up your finger, just leave it clicked. Okay, and there all of your slices now have handles on it. Now, you haven't picked up the clicker. Right? If you pull out like that, then they all explode. Isn't that awesome? It's magic. All right, I love that. All right, and then we are going to click the legend down here, and we're going to delete it. So now we've got an unlabeled pie chart, and what we want to do is label each of the slices sort of in there, in next to the slice. So what you want to do, okay, we want to right-click any of the slices and say Add Data Labels. Okay, so that adds the numbers in there. Then we can click on one of the numbers and select Format Data Labels, which opens up this pane over here. And we want to check the boxes for category name and percentage. We're not going to use value. We're going to say category name, and it automatically selects our percentages for us. It can calculate it without actually having a percent calculation there, the beauty of Excel. And so we like that. So that's good. We're going to close it. And then we can, let's see, they're still selected, so we can make them bold. And then we can make this box here a little bigger. Why doesn't that want, there we go. And sometimes, you know, you guys, when I'm working on charts, it's all just hunt and peck and paste, and a lot of this stuff is really not very easy to figure out what you're doing. All right, so yeah, there it is. That's a nice looking pie chart. You know what? I don't think I want to show these lines here. You see how these labels here don't have a line and mine do. So let's go back to the, let's see, Format Data Label, and let's uncheck Show Leader Lines. There it is. Now they don't have lines. And so yeah, that looks nice. So there's our pie chart. And then the other thing that we can use to look at percentages of totals is what's called a stacked column chart. Okay, so if we want to look at the percentage or the racial distribution of these 3 different community colleges here in Oregon. Because we've got Mount Hood, we got Portland, and we got Clackamas County. Okay, so maybe there's interesting differences in the racial or ethnic makeup of those different community colleges. So let's go ahead and follow the instructions here. So what we want is to get all of this data, and we are going to once again select Insert, and it's going to be, let's see, we look at the columns chart. And what we want is the stacked column. So this is stacked columns as comparisons. This is the 100% stacked columns. So pick that as a percent of total. And here we have, then it comes out looking like what they've got there. So this tells us, that it's got the community colleges, though, on the horizontal axis, which is not what we want. The reason that Excel organized the data this way is that there are more race categories or ethnicity categories than there are colleges categories. So Excel basically, tries to make it easy for you, but what happens is sometimes their first guess is wrong. So you got to go in and think about what you want this chart to look like, and then set it up so that it gives you the data that you want. Okay. And so what we want to do, see up here we've got these chart tools in the chart design, right? And so we want to switch the columns and rows here. Okay, so now what we see is that out of the 100% of students in each of these colleges, what we can see is that white people represent a higher portion of the total in Clackamas County versus in Portland. And in Mount Hood, Portland seems to have somewhat more black students and fewer Asians. And in Mount Hood, fewer other. And in Mount Hood, we've got greater other undisclosed. And so you can actually see a little bit more data here. Okay. So that's how you do a stacked column chart that tells you what it is that you're looking for, right? So we want to compare the racial makeup of these 3 different community colleges. And so finally, if this chart were standalone, right, you'd want to have more information here, right? What we would want to do is have some data showing up at the bottom of these columns, right? So let's go ahead now and see if we can put in what's called a data table. Okay. So we want to add a chart element over here, up here in the menu. And what we want to do is add a data table with legend keys. And let's see how that looks. Holy camole. That's amazing. Look at that. Okay, so there it is. And now we don't necessarily need this legend here anymore, so we can get rid of that. And here's our beautiful chart that gives us all the data in one handy chart with the actual numbers underneath. Wow. All right. Have fun. We're going to move on. The next section here has to do with formatting charts in general.